Hi, this is another talk about the kind of workshop that we're going to be working on. Anne and I have been talking to each other today, and are thinking that Thursday at the moment, that Thursday's a prep day and Friday's a kind of workshop day. So we still want you to work towards this. So in a sense, working on this element here, which we sent you as a roundup email, I think yesterday, would be good. And to bring some stuff, but we'll send you a roundup email about that later. I know some of you started to look at these scenarios, and these are some of the kind of methods that we're sort of interested in you kind of considering here. But we're going to kind of, sort of cut that short a bit because of the time constraints now. Because as I was saying in the email, you've got to balance your, what you actually want to do for this unit with what we can kind of help you learn during this unit. So I've got a few examples here of artists that could be of interest, could be useful. Shobo, French duo, south of France. I think these were done in Toulouse. Large-scale murals, and what I like about these is sort of the application of something you might consider like doodles or kind of character design and environmental design kind of all in one, but applied to a space. So this looks like some sort of, commercial space, if you like. And I like the notion that this playful kind of way of working can become something that's applied to objects, as I was saying in the last talk. Andrew Foster, these illustrator, British from London. These are for Liberty, as you can see. These are quite. There's a good film of him doing something for London Fashion Week on the MyUCO blog, but I like the range of marks here. It's very eye-catching. It's clever in the way it's organised. There's space here to sort of see the setup, but this is really eye-catching. And here you can see someone obviously walking past and documenting it. But I like the kind of bold starting points and then the intricate kind of mark making that's gone into how you might engage someone and kind of get them to stay with that a bit longer, but it instantly communicates, and it's really nice composition within the actual frame of the window. And that's something you can consider really, especially with the empty shops projects that we've got in terms of the frame of the window, what can go into that frame. It's basically a large scale composition. So these are two together I would like to show you. So it's just really inventive in terms of what's on the window and what's behind the window, which I think is really good fun. So these are useful things to kind of be aware of, and I like the way the kind of letter forms here are sort of played with, just expressive mark making, almost doodles, off the cuff shapes, some kind of printed material here. So there's a lot of different things going into this. Julien Vallet, French designer. This I think is for MTV in France, or it could be for MTV anywhere. Again, I like the kind of spatial play with this. This is kind of just sort of propped and stuck together, and it kind of it's meant to be seen from one angle. It's documented, and a wide variety of media materials have gone into it. More Julien Vallet, but these are posters. Again, similar setup, and what's great about it is because it's set up in 3D space, it's eye-catching because it's sort of original. It's different from a lot of other stuff that's trying to do a similar thing. Peep Show Collective. This looks like a mural for maybe a more hospital type space. And I like this idea that you can kind of use space in this way. So, we might ask you to kind of use fishing wire, hand things from fishing wire, create objects, drawings, cut them out. So just be aware of that as you come to the workshop, that can you kind of separate your ideas out into different assets? Can you kind of create separate things, if you like, that can be combined in lots of different ways once we get to the workshop. Another one from Pixel Garden. Here you can kind of see this sort of cut out objects. This is probably laser cut, I guess. But then how it's combined with kind of the painting on the wall here, and also just things kind of propped up and stacked up. Again, a temporary setup. One of the things that we want you to consider with this is setting something up and then kind of documenting it as well as you can with photography or video. Peter Lundgren, kind of very makeshift, spontaneous use of cardboard and paint and tape to kind of create these sort of singular setup situations. Again, maybe you could take your interests, if you're interested in music and kind of playing around with kind of making instruments, or even then making something that can make a sound, and then having that as part of the performance. I was showing a bit some images from Paddy Steer from the live projects of Free Range. Could this be something that could go into a kind of free range event? We've got that event in February that we can kind of start to work towards. Ilka Helmig, really difficult to get hold of images of this. Her work is great, and it's if you Google her, she's got this really interesting website. She's a photographer and she sets things up, but this is kind of her maybe in her early part of her career, doing more commercial setups. What I want to show you with this one is how this kind of tape is delineating a space which presumably corresponds to the rectangle of this space here, and how she's kind of created these separate assets that are then deployed. Because they're separate, they can be put anywhere. You can kind of make choices with these. Kathy Capel, again, good use of kind of theatrical space, maybe a more permanent exhibit that someone might kind of view or enjoy. Permanent in terms of it looks like it's made of wood, maybe CNC cut, painted. This might be something you work towards for the end of the unit, but we can approximate things like this to play with on the workshop day. So going to the website, some of the things that could be good to look at in terms of the some of the films that relate specifically maybe more to the workshop are things like